Every brand tells a story. And they are the storytellers. The Sutradhars. They present a brand with band, baja and barat to you. They are the Brandwalas. He is the man who heads the India unit of one of the world's most iconic brands. Santosh Iyer, Managing Director and CEO of Mercedes-Benz India. And if you're wondering what's a CEO doing on the Brandwalas, well, guess what he was before he became MD and CEO? He was the Vice President of Sales and Marketing for Mercedes-Benz India. From marketing Mercedes in India to heading Mercedes India. Wow, that's quite the switch up. And that's why he's our Brandwala.
Wow, Mercedes-Benz EVs are driven by A or B, and now even I should get into an EV. Just by making it look cooler with the use of AI doesn't solve the problem. You know, let others stop their emission, then I will do it. Last year, same time, it was YEV, as you said. But now, with so many EVs in Auto Expo, all mass market OEMs buying, now it's about which EV. I can test and I can drive some of our cars of the future and see the cars as well of the future.
You're watching the Brandwalas. I'm Krishnakumar and I'm here with Mr. Santosh Iyer, CEO of Mercedes India. Thank you so much for taking time to speak to us, Santosh. Always a pleasure talking to you. And Mercedes is launching its much-awaited G-Class all-electric variant. Talk to us about Mercedes' electric plans for India.
So, we were always committed to electrification, and we also have a very clear goal on decarbonizing the automotive industry in general. So for us, it's not an option. We started bringing in CBUs, then we were the first to localize an electric in India with an EQS sedan, then we localized an EQS SUV. But then it's also important that, these cars, the G, there was always a question, can you electrify the G? Because it's such an iconic car. And with this, our engineers proved, yes, even the G can be electrified, more iconic. The G-turn has become another symbol, of what it can do. And that's also possible only because it's electric. The four motors are independent and you are able to get the car rotate on 720 degrees. I think that's only possible in an electric motor drive powertrain. So I think we have demonstrated that you can have a decarbonized future in electrification, and the G580 with EQ technology is a very clear example of we have achieved across all car line. This car we sold out the moment we announced all the cars for India. This is 3 crores plus. So that just shows that, one of the bigger things is these cars will be driven by Bollywood cricketers, so this helps in EV adoption. Because then the mass market also will know, wow, Mercedes-Benz EVs are driven by A or B, and now even I should get into an EV.
Free brand marketing from Bollywood stars and cricket stars.
Free, end of the day, I think the brand is the most valuable brand in the world. I think we are more focused on offering value to customers, the kind of product substance, and there's a reason why they select the Mercedes, the 3-pointed star.
It's organic.
And it's been there from Janis Joplin's time to, you can see it, so it's just not new here.
Santosh, what according to you is the big buzz in the world of brands and branding and marketing? The one big thing that's happening at this moment.
See, I am a traditional marketeer, I would say, by heart. In that sense, there has been, it comes, it goes, a lot of ads come in. But if you keep the customer in the center of what you are doing, I think and then, because it's not rocket science, to be honest, but it's execution which makes the difference a lot. And I think the ability of brands to shift from slides to execution, and brands which are able to do that seemingly better are able to do, they resonate well. And of course, the starting point has to be to keep the customer in the center of what you do. But a lot of tools have changed. Digital at some point of time, it's all hygiene today. I think the tools are available to everyone in the industry. the way you use the tool and way you execute it is what will differentiate. So I am more of still a believer in doing the fundamentals, and the fancy things are great, good for for the young marketeers to tell their bosses, I did this, I did that.
Yeah.
But I think the core is does the customer see it finally?
And one thing that, according to you, in the world of branding and marketing is overhyped, and hence, according to you, is blah.
Well, the usage of the word AI takes, I really get, everybody's talking about it. I'm doing this. We use AI to find the customer, to do some digital marketing, and it uses AI to now see, come on, these things existed some time back. Just by making it look cooler with the use of AI doesn't solve the problem. So I think AI is great, but it has to be used at a fundamental level with a different understanding. So it's a lot of blah happening on that side, but I would love to see a bit more tangible use cases.
I also wanted to ask you about, marketing and or selling an EV to a consumer. And you always talk about the fact that it's the future, but the consumer has to buy it in the present.
No, that's true. See, end of the day, the early adopters are guys who value, I would say, sustainability at the core. We have children, we have responsibility, and you can say that, let others stop their emission, then I will do it. But, we have to start at some point of time, and we can see the Delhi air quality, for example. We are part of the problem. So if you don't come up with solution and we don't do, so that's at the meta level. Last year, same time, it was why EV, as you said. But now, with so many EVs in Auto Expo, all mass market OEMs buying, now it's about which EV. I think that narrative is changing, and that's great.
What is the one iconic advertisement or a brand campaign or a marketing campaign that that really stuck with you and that sort of inspires you even today?
So first, let me give 2-3 examples. Number one, I would say, being in the automotive industry, when I look at some path-breaking campaigns, I think the Maruti campaign about, one is the service station, done by Gulu Sen, if I'm not wrong, at that point of time, where, even in Ladakh, they find a service station for this car. And the other is Kitna Deti Hai, for example, also the mileage crunching. I think they got the consumer insight and the ability to get that narrative into a very simple communication format. I think that says a lot about the organization's understanding of the consumer and the way they did the narrative with the agency. Then I was also working for, Toyota at some point. I did this Innova campaign with Amir Khan. We had multiple Amir Khans in one car, every day many roles, one car. It went on to win some awards as well. I think that's personally for me a lot of insightful campaign. We were able to really get traction on that. That car is successful today. A lot of people didn't know AMG. And they said, what's an AMG? We said, performance brand, you need to work. And then we said, hey, this brand is about emotions. So we made, for the first time ever, a campaign dedicated to India, for India with AMG. And we split into, oh my God. We said, AMG is not about performance. It's the, oh my God feeling that you get from this brand.
Tell us, how do you push your brand or make the Gen Z consumer engage with your brand? And not just Gen Z, I'm asking, because we live in the age of short attention spans. So it's not just Gen Z who have short attention spans, it's people like you and me who have short attention spans. How do you engage the consumer?
Firstly, it starts again from product. We are a product company, car company, end of the day. We can do marketing, but finally the core is the product. If you look at the CLA concept that we showed in the Auto Expo here, it's mind-boggling. It's iconic to start with. Luxury has to be iconic. Our designs have to be iconic. The G is another example of an iconic design. So the design itself catches attention of a Gen Z, Gen Alpha, and then of course they are digital natives. They want more technology, and what we have loaded in this car, the intuitiveness, the autonomous nature of these cars going into the future. I'm sure most of the Gen Z, Gen Alphas will all love this kind. And we have been relevant in every generation. And if you look at, when you take a brand book or you were in Stuttgart in a museum a couple of months ago, when you see that, we have been relevant to every generation, even the past, X to Y to Z, and future to the Alpha.
Yeah, I'm sure you witnessed it with yourself.
Yes,
so,
yes.
from your youth to now, you're continuing youth till now.
No, it's been a transformation. But coming to marketing, I think we have to keep it simple and sweet. The attention span reducing. Don't overcomplicate. I think we have we cannot underestimate the intellect of the customer at times. So we make it simple, make it authentic, and they will be with you. The moment you build the blah there or any fluff, and the customer attention span is gone.
In terms of marketing and branding, lots of talk is now about the multi-platform age. Although some people say, we were always multi-platform with radio, print and TV in the first place. But now we have digital in the mix. So in the multi-platform age, how is your mix in terms of spending across platforms changing with digital coming in? Are you cutting down on print?
So firstly, I'm not in the details. We have a very strong marketing team who is really on it.
Okay.
But it cannot be, again, each product, each brand. Like for G, I will select a different platform, maybe for a CLA, a different platform. And the ability of the marketeer is to ensure how the OTS comes up by using a combination of channels. So it is never either or. It is, can you orchestrate the marketing journey using the available tools for the target consumer? So you can never say percentage allocation. This is very financial thinking.
Okay.
30%, 40%, 20%. If you start from there, you are not a marketeer. You are a finance accountant. A marketeer has to orchestrate the journey. And that orchestration depends on the right target consumer whom you want to target and what media they are consuming. And based on the product, the car, what I do with a G and an S-Class is completely different.
That's what I wanted to ask.
I spend only on customer events. I don't do any media.
Wow.
Also is a possibility.
And that's why I wanted to ask, how is it shifting and how do you decide at this stage? There are some models, I'm guessing, that the campaign begins with digital and then moves into traditional, isn't it? Because that's the big paradigm shift that we've witnessed in the recent past.
But as I said, the marketing colleagues, they really spend a lot of time in this mix first and then make the creatives backwards. You don't start from making a creative and then say, now which all medium to use. You first see what you want to communicate. As I said, MyBag, for example, our focus is on outstanding customer events, memorable customer events. Again, events are customers of MyBag, they have access to everything. What can you give them much more unique? Also generally for Mercedes customers, we have a tie-up with the Nita Mukesh Ambani, cultural center in Mumbai. The Phantom of the Opera coming up. We said our customer should be the first to get it. That's it. There's no other marketing there. It's not CRM. But then can we do a launch along with it? So this is very customized and it's not one size fits all. As a brand which is very valuable, trusted, desirable. For Mercedes-Benz, we had the best ever year. Last year, we grew at 12% plus. Today, it's more content and we need to look at more natural content. And then if something is working, we start putting a bit more money behind it.
One thing about your job, Santosh, that you just absolutely love doing. That's what you wake up every morning and go to office for. What would that be?
See, it's not the regular work day. Let me say that I can test and I can drive some of our cars of the future and see the cars as well of the future. In March, I'm again in Stuttgart. It's just like I'm waiting for something nice in my life to happen because, when you go to these places, when you look at the future of cars, I think you have to be privileged enough to see the future that's coming in.
Actually, I shouldn't have asked this question to you. Everybody would be like, how do I get this guy's job? Because he gets to drive the first Mercedes So the first hand, so actually that question in hindsight was actually redundant. Let me ask you the other question then. What is the one thing about your job that you hate the most? I know hate is a big word, okay, that you detest the most. The one thing that you don't look forward to in your daily work day or just your job per se.
Saying no is generally difficult, but saying no to customers is even more difficult. And they come from early delivery of cars. And they say, you are the CEO of Mercedes-Benz and their friends and family sometimes. You can't get me the car. I said, come on, we have some process. Secondary discount. Come on, get something. I said, you're buying Mercedes-Benz. No, but something more. No, something more. And I have to say no because our model is very transparent. It's omni-channel. It's also online available. And we have certain processes as a large multinational. But many of them fail to understand, but you still are CEO of the company, can't give me something extra. And that's something, saying no to all and they just feel, is it why can't be there? Or even deliveries, can't I get this car early? Except we are a compliant organization asset. So this is the difficult part is saying the no and explaining to them a bit more.
Talk to us about what is Mercedes-Benz's social media strategy. Is there an overall social media strategy in terms of brand Mercedes? And more importantly, how does a brand like Mercedes leverage social media?
Firstly, there are guide rails very clearly because we need to be authentic. We have to be very careful on social media as well because as a brand which is very valuable, trusted, desirable, generally there's always an attack on the brand as well. So anything not in the right tonality, voice, also the entire space needs to be really. So there's a lot of attention to what we can post, what we can say. We have to be sensitive on these topics. But I think today it's more content and we need to look at more natural content. And then if something is working, we start putting a bit more money behind it. Then going the other way around, you put money and then see whether it works or not. So again, it's highly bespoke today. I would say marketing. Then a strategy which is on a PowerPoint, which you say you can use it for every product and sales.
So do you think that's been the big shift in the world of marketing? And there's some
luxury marketing for sure. Because I think here customer profile segmentation is much more different and ability of normal media may be limited. So we have to use it as a combination. Retail campaigns, I need print, I need TV. But when I look at say brand campaigns, then it's a different mix altogether.
Okay. Santosh, I have to ask you this. What is your take on the India consumption story? We all know that for the Indian economy's growth to boom going forward, the India consumption story has to boom. Indians have to go out there, spend on everything from cars to luxury cars to movie tickets to shopping in malls. Tell us, how strong or weak do you think the India consumption story is at this stage? Lots of questions being raised on car sales being tepid, all these inventories piling up, and etc. etc.
Firstly, automotive as a category is a sentiment-driven purchase. Luxury more, but in general also because there is a tendency to postpone purchases in automotive. On the other side, we also have seen that there was inflation, there was a bit of lesser capital expenditure, and I think this is the table is again turning, the corner is changing. We can see for Mercedes-Benz, we had the best ever year. Last year, we grew at 12% plus. The second half of the year, where the entire automotive industry, as you said, was tepid, we grew at 16%. So I think if you have the right product, the right pricing strategy, the right customer target segment, the growth should continue. But we are again not going with a volume-driven growth because that's dangerous. You have to see because with top-end cars, then you do crazy things. So it's better that you be more focused on customer. I think if you see the penetration of cars, only 24 people driving out of 1,000 people having a car compared to the 500 in Germany, etc. So I think there's a lot of runway left. It depends, of course, on the fundamental core economic growth and sentiments both. It's a sentiment-driven economy, and as the sentiments come back with the geopolitics and also with what the government is trying to do, I think the consumption story will continue.
I know you think that there's so much of overhype around artificial intelligence, but if I were to ask you, how exactly is artificial intelligence reshaping marketing and branding in today's day and age?
As I said, it's too early. The potential seems to be significant because end of the day, marketing is also today a lot about data. And data it's a lot of data which is not in the structured format to start with. The moment you start giving structure, then this AI, we can start learning from the data. That can give better insights, that can give better decision making, and I think we can also be more targeted for sure. But I think we are still in the starting point of that journey, and I think we have a long way to go there.
One message from you to all the Mercedes lovers in India and across the world, if may. Mainly because, Mercedes has been the car of choice as far as luxury cars are concerned in India for decades now. Your message on what, Mercedes lovers, people, Mercedes customers, and to be Mercedes customer. Customers, one message from you for that.
Firstly, thanks a lot for the love for the brand. Actually, we are really thankful for the love for many years for the three-pointed star. Keep challenging us, keep challenging all of us, because we will do our best to get the best cars, the best services. We are still not there, maybe in some areas in India as well. But if you feel, talk to me, my entire team is available, I can say. We will ensure that the three-pointed star continues to shine brightly ever in India as well as across the world.
Any sneak peek you can give us into Mercedes' plans for the year 2025? What can we expect?
8 new cars coming up. 2 you have already seen, the G electrified, and also the Maybach now with the night edition package. So a lot more to come in also in terms of product for 2025.
Lot more to come into the product. Santosh, it's been fantastic speaking to you. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us here at News9.
Thanks for joining us and enjoy the show.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And with that, it's a wrap here on this edition of the Brandwalas.